I'm Ruthie, she, they, and I play Sentinel, she, they.
I'm Will, he, him, and I play Moxie, she, her.
I'm Imi, she, her, and I play Ahmaya, also she, her.
I'm Steve, he, him. I play Aura, he, him.
I'm Sarah, she, her, and I play Freya, she, her.
Hi, I'm Mike, he, him, and I'm playing Eugene Ballantyne, he, him.
I'm Charlie, he, him, and I'm your DM.
Now for the bit I'm scared about.
Pouring the water.
Steve is in a splash zone.
Are you doing it from your giant bottle?
Why are you doing
a smaller
this?
bottle.
Oh my god.
Do you want a controllable water?
Yeah, something with a spell on it.
Do you want some tepid bottled water?
Oh, good God.
Please.
Don't do this.
Oh
Please
my
don't do this.
I'll be alright.
No, you won't.
I'm a scientist, trust me.
Yeah, he does it for a living.
Yeah, I do this, like this.
Specifically this.
The tension is palatable.
There we go.
How much do you need?
I have no idea.
That's way more than
Probably.
you need.
Probably too much.
A sloppy ice cream.
Just gonna stir my ice cream.
Right, so after returning from the desert on your long adventures in the Cragmore,
That was so long ago,
It
dude.
was. But you got back to Dustmere and you dived into a series
Oh shit, it's
of...
leaking! That's not my fault.
Take it away!
I didn't realise it would leak.
Let me get the arse
Oh,
napkins.
it's Megan. Back in Dustmere, you guys got yourselves intertwined in various conflicts. You went. What was it? What was the first one you did? You went through to the sewers where you killed a mysterious hag that had been manipulating people and getting them to. What?
And a big snack.
And a big snack. The hag had been manipulating people to worship the Biles, a phenomenon that is still rampant in the city. It seems that even though that was the original Kickstarter of it, it seems to have spiraled a bit. Then you went to the Archivist Guild, where you uncovered a plot to steal these strange artifacts to do with, I think they were from the age of Ascension, very old things, a book called Blood of Apotheosis, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Then you went to a boat where there was a strange ritual. You identified the boat as being one of Gaspar's lost fleets, or one of his lost boats in his fleet, sorry. And then finally you got back and much conspiracying and shopping was happened. You got jobs to this ball that's upcoming, and the ball is in place to celebrate Debile's return to Dustmere. You know that its theme is ancient mysteries, and it's a masquerade ball, and you all are in the throes of preparing for that ball, be it shopping, planning,
scheming.
And the last thing that happened between scheming was you were attacked in a thought-safe place, the Coal and Petal Inn, where you were attacked by 3 assassins from the Wakefield family of the Syndicate. And one of them recognised Moxie and stopped and managed to convince the leader of the attack to stop. There's a man called Oric to stop. And after speaking to Moxie, you found out that it was the Promised of Marika, your friend from the Yaldrins. He revealed some more information that you were unaware of, that Julien had sent them, and that the Wakefields, though, believed that he was paying them with noble money, and that they also thought that there was a third party involved as well now, something to do with a cult that has been seen in the city. And that was the last thing that happened. You were kind of standing in the ruin of the Coal and Petal Inn, I think, and you started cleaning up. What was your question about Apathy/government?
Yeah, like the 3 branches of government.
So you have the ruling bodies are the Emperor's Eye, or the Eye of the Emperor, which is like the criminal courts. Mm-hmm. Then you have okay, right. So there are different. That's like the jurisdiction of crime, right? Yeah. But then in terms of government, you have the Crown Table, which is like the crowned dukes sit around the Crown Table. Mm-hmm. Then you have the Guild Table, and the seated guilds sit around that table, and they're like as close to any kind of elected members of business. So those are the big guilds. So the Lapidaris, the Alchemists, the Archivists. There's loads of them, and they kind of answer to the Crown Table, but there's a conflict there in a similar way to like House of Lords, House of Commons, except the Guilds table is they're not necessarily elected; they're just merchants, right, who've ascended the ranks. And then you have the divine side of government, which is the Apatheos, which only answers the only crossover with all of that other stuff is the king. Because the emperor has been missing for a few hundred years, so the vassal in his place is the king, and that is House Presage. Yeah, thank you very much. And the Apatheos has several arms. It has the keepers, which if Ilram was one of those. He was. I think he gave you his rank. He was a knight in the keepers. You have the choruses, which obviously they span numerous different. Shining servants, and then you have the Eye of God, which is the divine court. So Eye of the Emperor, Eye of God are the two courts, and the Eye of God being divine / magic. So that's the place you'd end up if you were like doing the heebie-jeebie with a bad divine.
The heebie-jeebie with a bad. What a sentence.
I've gone back downstairs to the hideout.
You've come to the hideout, okay.
Can I get dressed?
Sure, you were still in your chef's voice, yeah.
I am in so much pain.
Oh yeah, you were being up.
Do some healing.
No, I think I healed myself.
Are we going to rest?
I think we took a short rest.
It's morning at the moment.
Yeah, it's literally like we were.
I'm going back to bed.
Yeah.
Oh, well, nothing had better happen today. Because
Yeah, I'm all tapped out spells now.
Let's just hang out here and plan.
The only thing that I would like to do, I would like to go find somewhere, and it doesn't have to be roleplayed at all, but I'd just like to go buy 2 chef's hats, please.
Okay, yeah, you can do that.
Thank you. How much is it going to cost me?
Let me double check. I've got my
Double check.
specific.
He's got the hat.
My specific list.
Oh shit, lads! I've had some money that we've been setting up for like.
Oh yes.
It depends how you want to do it. It was the money from the investigation. So you weren't there, so you don't get this money. I'm sorry, Aura, but I think it was 200
That's fine, I'll
gold.
save money by being around.
Yeah, you saved money by being dead. So I think it was 200 gold for the job, right?
Which job was that?
The investigation one.
Oh, the archivists. Yes, that's right.
200 gold. So that's
Divided by 5.
40 each.
Yeah.
Nice. 40.
I've been sitting on this for months.
Yes, she didn't take any negotiation. She was like, "No, it's 200 gold. Take it all."
And we took it.
We could buy so many hats with that.
Your
Potentially.
hats will be 1 silver each.
We could buy so many
Ask
hats
what
with
other
that.
hats they have.
I'll just buy two of those.
2 silver hats, yeah. So 2, chef hats.
Sorry, actually no, scratch that. Can I have 4? I just think we should have a spare each.
You can buy 4 chef
Yes,
hats.
okay,
Yeah,
thank
so that's
you very
4
much.
silver.
Yep.
I'd love to know what we're going to be doing in these hats.
They're collapsible.
They're sprint loaded.
I just like the idea of you like pulling it out, being like.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, like pop-up tents.
Did you
Don't
so?
talk to me about pop-up
Have you divvied up
tents.
the gold then? Has everyone got the
Yeah.
share?
We did this weeks ago in game.
Yeah.
We did it when it happened.
Okay. So you're all. So that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
The rest of the front window was shattered. There were tables on its side. There were some guests that ran away. There's food on the floor. There's smashed bottles of whiskey behind the bar where someone's knifed. So it is a mess.
Who would do such a thing?
Should we...
The assassins.
Well, no, I know. That wasn't in game. That wasn't Eugene.
I would say by this point, if you're going to head out and go and buy those, then the guards have been called. So, what was her name?
Grumpy.
Grumpy's name. Is it Tala?
Yeah.
Tara
She's-
Meredith.
Yeah, Tala and Meredith. So Tala is now speaking with the guards, there's 2 of them, and she's telling them what happened. She's not reporting anything other than that they were attacked. That you were attacked. You can see that happening at the moment.
Can I start doing some mending with toffee?
Sure.
So cover everything in toffee.
I
Yeah.
awkwardly just like push chairs back to where they are.
Yeah, I'll start tidying up. Moxie, are you still there? Or did you go back downstairs as well?
No, probably would have gone with Sentinel actually.
I mean, I did go off in a sulk, so it's whether you come with me or not.
Yeah, no, yeah. If you were upset, then yeah, I definitely would have gone with.
Okay.
Definitely would have gone with
Okay.
Sentinel. Yeah.
So the rest of you are just in the
I was looking for her instead of Moxie. I know we don't know Kaz well, but the assassins, they called me by the new name. And like, as far as I know, the only people that know that name are us and Kaz.
Did Kaz make that? Did she write it?
Mhm.
Well, no, we used it for the job.
Yeah.
Alright,
Although that's concerning.
it's just that they seem to... Because I didn't go with you.
No, but
So job.
we did use your.
We did. Yeah.
Is it photo ID?
No, so you've got a written, it's like a writ that says your name, and it's been sort of ratified. There's a seal on the top, and did you bring his papers with you? Mm-hmm. So your name has been used. I think you've used it with some guards and at the job. So you used it with some guards to get into the glitters once. I think.
Yeah, you did it when you flirted with that one guy.
But I think those are the only times you've used the new papers.
Yeah.
It's just that name didn't exist. Like, this was all linked back to the sewers. That name didn't exist then.
I guess if they've been tracking us as a group, and several of us have just been using our regular names, they can just work out who's with us based on that.
I just wonder if we're walking into a trap. That's all.
Oh, we're definitely walking into a trap.
Maybe we need to speak to Sentinel and Moxie, find out what they know about Julien. Like, does he use magic? Because I'm guessing if something kicks off, we're going to end up fighting
Split
him as
apart. All of us in different parts of the manor.
And who
Eugene and me
knows
will be fine.
what?
We're together.
Who knows what Gaspar
Yeah, some nice
is capable of?
Yeah.
Is that why you bought two?
Good point.
And is this third party going to be there as well?
What other families is V family is not you guys, right?
V family is us.
Oh, it is you. So Julien is V family.
Yeah. He's our brother.
My twin brother.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh.
This is going to cause some trauma, isn't
He's
it?
my baby brother. I'm gonna kick his ass.
I guess still time to back out.
We just not turn up.
Let's just go somewhere else.
Go to the pub and wait for
Actually, if we did that, then that would be so funny. It would be so annoying. We just get annoyed off and be like, yeah, we're leaving, see ya.
He has not wanted us to go to
Bye.
this ball since the day we said we wanted to go.
Just wait right to like
He's
an
been-
hour before and be like, nah.
He's been trying to get us to not go.
What if we all get food poisoning?
I love how you're like, oh man, they know our names. I think we're walking into a trap, and you guys have been the least stealthiest of all time. This house. I must be a trap, guys.
I'm Eugene Bannatyne.
Eugene yells his name.
Eugene, Joss.
Are our actual names on the invitations?
I don't think so, because it wouldn't have been. Well, my fake name would have been on the invitation.
Okay.
But I don't think so, because we got them from the Artful, which is one of the things I need to clarify with Kaz, is whether they are just tickets or whether they are listed under her name or anything.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll come to that now then. So I think the rest of you guys, you sort of pottering about. Tala she's spoken to the guards. One of them's run off with a report. She's going to continue hiding, and she kind of says to you, "It's okay. You know, I hope that you're all right." She sees that you're wounded, Aura, and she's like, "I appreciate the help, but just keep yourself safe. And I would probably leave the inn for now. You're obviously welcome to stay, but."
There goes my plan of hiding in a room until tomorrow.
I would say either hide in your room or leave the inn, but not be in the main area. It's a state and a crime scene, quite frankly.
When you said, thank you for the help, but like you said, this is unsanitary and you need to leave.
None of the guests were hurt, were they?
No, shaken, but
You did a good job protecting them.
Yes, I was on the stairs. I was making sure that no one would come up those stairs.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
That's okay. And you see, I'm completely immaculate. I think
Are you still in your chef's white?
I know I have got,
You got
changed. Yeah.
No, thank you. I appreciate that as well. Okay. Yes, as I said, I'm gonna call the owners and yes, knocking on their door will not be fun. But she walks off.
I've just got a couple of things that I wanted to do. Don't need to let them out.
Yeah, sure.
One was take a walk through market and the Multirot Square and just see if I can see Emberin anywhere.
Okay.
He's late.
He's very late now.
Yeah. Just on the off chance.
How much of you were trying to do the map? How much have you done? Was it just the one?
I've done 2/3.
You've done the two outsides. That's right. Yes.
But I couldn't get the middle without being in there. Mm-hmm. So I've just done the two outsides.
Okay.
And then I want to try and track down Sariki quickly.
Cool. Okay. Roll a perception check for the Multirot Square.
Ooh, that's not bad. 18.
Okay. This is the second time I think you've gone now just to watch, and it seems the same as last time. There's business people moving from the block in the government building around. There's a few people going into work. It's cool though. It's actually quite busy out, but you don't see him.
Okay. And I'll just try and track down Sariki, whether she's at home or at the forge, and just check in on progress.
Yeah, so you know where she lives. So I'd say by the time that you walked from Mariner's Market down to the block and then back up into the eastern stubs. No, she lives in the rough side, the western stubs. It's probably getting sort of late morning at that point. So we'll skip ahead to there if you like. So you approach Sariki's. It's this narrow whitewashed mud brick place with the big kind of like bungalow barn on the side with the big opening doors, and you can see that that's open, and you hear her busying or someone busying inside.
I'll go up and knock on the door and stick my head in.
Sure. Yeah. You see her inside. She's sorting through some scrap metal. Back so soon, are we?
Morning.
Morning.
Just thought I'd check in as we're at a bit of a loose end for today.
Okay. Well, the sword.
Yeah. Any luck?
I won't lie. I hit a dead end pretty quick, and she kind of brings you over, and she's got it laid out on the sort of soft leather wrappings that you carry in all of the fractured pieces. This black iron hilt, just for those of you that don't remember, this black iron hilt of a sword, very old looking in its design, and a broad blade that shatters a sort of hand span up, and I think there's another point of it still there, but it's not in a great shape. She looks at you and she picks up one of the pieces, and she's like, first I was trying to figure out what force would break the steel, but nothing did the trick. I don't know if my fires can't get hot enough, but which it could very well be. They're not as hot as Tonbox, but it wouldn't break. And as much as that is odd, the stranger thing is when you look closer and she pulls like a big magnifying glass and like sort of puts it over her side of her ear, and she looks at this fragment and she's like, when you look at the existing breaks, and she kind of ushers you over, you can't find any. There's no visible grain structure, so there's no cracks, there's no weaknesses. And she takes it off and hands you the lens.
Yeah, I'll take it and have a look.
Yeah, and what you see is exactly as she describes. It's smooth. It doesn't look like a broken piece of steel, and you're very familiar with those, but it's only with this kind of equipment that you're able to see that. There are no shears, there's no imperfections, there's no break marks. And if I'm being honest, yes, it looks like it's made of pig iron, no offence. But if I'm being honest, this won't make any sense. It looks like it was made like this.
That's interesting.
Yes, I mean, I don't know why anyone would make a broken sword. And in terms of its strength, I can't break it with my forge, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's unbreakable. It might just require more heat. But it's very odd. As much as my fire's a little pony, it doesn't. It's not. I've never had this problem before. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what else I can say.
That's all right. It's helpful. Anyway, there's some answers, even if they don't feel like it.
Sure, I guess. Well,
I do appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure. I like curiosities like this.
If I find anything out, I'll get word back to you, and
please do.
Who knows? Maybe we can make more like this. And
well, I'll need a bigger forge and some better equipment. So, if you've got the money to throw at me, then I'd be more than willing to do that.
How long would it take to, build something like that?
A forge like Tomvox?
Like Tomvox, or bigger, better?
I don't know how much time.
I'm guessing a lot of money.
Yes, I would say that. This thing here cost around 200 gold, and that was pulled together mainly by me and using scraps. And you can see it's definitely been made by her. The main thing isn't necessarily the insulation. It's just like a small dome with a little letterbox opening. It's the heat inside, the ability to force air through, buying the right fuel. You know these things, but Tomvox is a very well-made, very well-built thing. He uses more expensive fuel than I, but it's a science in its own. I honestly, I wouldn't know.
I do wonder. You remember Eugene?
Yes, your friend.
Yeah.
From the alchemy guild.
I have another friend, Moxie, as well.
She my friend.
It's unlike me. They might have some ideas on something I'm working through, but do we know somewhere safe, somewhere more hidden and secure that we could build something like this?
Not really a Dustmere that I can think of. I mean, I'm pretty hidden out here in the sticks. And she kind of looks out the door, and you can just see out your peripheral the Dustmere wall, the city wall. So she's quite far out to the east. Hidden. I mean, it's hard to say. You could find somewhere like this, somewhere where people won't look. I don't sell anything here. I'm not an open shop. This is purely my own work, but I don't know anywhere in the city. You might have to find.
Do I know of any cave systems or something?
You know of the tunnels under the city, but you don't. But Aura doesn't know. You know, your knowledge of the Empire doesn't really extend that past Dustmere, does it? So
Right.
You know that there are tunnels in Dustmere, and then the closest thing, maybe the port or the Cragmore. But past that, there's not really any structures. It's just desert.
I don't know how you feel about possibly relocating for a while. But, I'm wondering.
I just burst out that.
I'm wondering if we could build something.
Where?
That's the problem. I don't know where, but I've got the money to start it, and I've got ideas that could make it hotter than Tombox.
Okay.
Tombox is pretty
if you're seriously considering a forge of your own and you're going to hide it somewhere, then maybe I can be of help, but it'll only be when you're ready. And if I'm being honest, I would pull in Tonvok. He knows how to make forges. I've learned what little I could from him. I could give it a go, but I feel like your money might be better placed.
I'll have a chat with him.
Come back to me when you know, and
I've
when you
got
have
some time today.
Okay.
I'll have a chat with him, and I need to speak to Eugene and Moxie about some ideas, and then acquire some things.
Okay.
Possibly if we can find like a secret location.
If you could find a secret location that you would like me to build a forge, I mean, come back to me when you know more, I guess.
Love
I
the
will.
toxic fumes in the tunnels.
You will be doing a risk assessment.
That's your job.
I'll be honest, I didn't realise you were planning on opening up shop here. I thought that you would be on your way again. You seemed rather...
I will be.
That's Charlie speaking.
Please leave.
Please explore my world.
You
I will
disappeared. You came back under strange circumstances, and you no longer have a job. And now you want to open a forge. Aura, you need your family.
You sound like his mother. Don't have a job.
That's what Zuriki's like. That's what she's like.
It might not be here. There's something going on, and I don't know what, but it might be dangerous.
Well, I want to help where I can, and I'm interested, I'll say that. Let me know when you know more, maybe even if you do have to leave. We can set things in motion.
I'll speak to Tonvok and see if he has any ideas.
Right. Well, she wraps up the sword.
Yeah.
I guess. Good luck, and do let me know if you learn anything more.
Yeah, I think we'll be around for a couple more days at least, assuming we don't die tomorrow night.
You think you're going to die tomorrow? What have you got yourself into?
Gaspar's ball, apparently.
What are you planning on doing there?
See, Mom, I did get a chance.
Oh my god.
There's something going on, and it probably isn't good. But we're going to try and find out what's going on, and if we can stop it, stop it. If we can't, we'll probably be running out of town at the front of the queue. So maybe stay at home tomorrow night.
This is making it sound worse.
This is just getting worse and worse and worse.
I'm worried about you. You're not speaking sense. You're going to a ball and you think something's going to happen tomorrow. Is something bad, and I thought I should stay at home.
The desert does things to you.
I love our big, dumb, strong boy.
Okay.
We've seen things out there that defy logic.
Bookshops.
Owls.
Okay. Look, if you need anything, and I don't just mean about blacksmithing, then don't hesitate.
Of course.
And don't just leave again without saying goodbye.
I will try my best.
Okay.
But we won't be far. I'm sure we'll be. If we do go anywhere, we won't be going away for long.
Okay. She throws the bundle of razor sharp shards wrapped in leather at you.
Yeah.
Go on then.
I'll bundle them up and I'll just stop in and see if someone will get his thoughts. We don't have to go through everything.
Sure. I mean, he's, as he was last time, he's more amiable about you. Each time you see him, he's a bit more, he's a little less on edge. He basically says that he calls you a madman, and he doesn't like the idea, but as much as he kind of is angry with you for your sordid dealings, he wants to help where he can. And you can also see the kind of passion in his eyes for building another forge, just a little flicker of that. So
I'm gonna upsell it as like it could create like the greatest weapons in the Empire. And
roll a persuasion check.
he's my friend. He's supposed to believe in me.
Yeah, DC set,
No.
11. I was close. He kind of smirks at it, sees you trying it on a little bit, and he says he's not saying no. He's not saying no.
And obviously, I would finance all of it.
Yeah, all right. We won't roleplay it. It's so tempting to keep jumping in, but yeah, he seems open as much as.
Okay.
You weren't looking for investors then.
I will.
20% of my forge.
I'll do a Kickstarter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll leave him to it and I'll check back in sort of if he has to think about locations and like.
Did you tell him about the tunnels, or have you kept that to yourself like you did with Sariki?
No, I told him about the tunnels and I'm looking to hide this.
Okay. So he's aware of the tunnels.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Dungeons and Dragons Den.
Nice.
Write that one down.
I'll do that and then I'll just track down Moxie and Eugene.
Okay, so you're probably around midday at this point. Yeah. So we'll spin back in time. Sentinel Moxie, while they're all clearing up, we'll go back in time a bit there. You head back. So Sentinel, you go first back into the hideout. You slept there, didn't you?
Last night, yeah.
Yes. So Kaz was still in there because I think you left while she was still there. Was that right?
Yeah,
Yes,
she was having a liquid breakfast.
That's right. She was drinking wine.
My bitch.
Yeah, that's right. So you walk in. She's basically busying around near her station where she's got the painting set up. She's just sorting through things, brushes, different degrees of how expensive parchment are for different things. You all right? Are you okay?
God, who started training Wakefield? Swear to God they've gotten better at fighting.
Right, what has happened with Wakefield?
Assassins upstairs.
Now?
Yeah,
Now?
they've gone.
Are you okay? Is everyone all right? How are you? They shouldn't be attacking Syndicate.
They didn't know. They stopped when they realised who we were.
You'd probably in the next few moments, so if there's anything that you want to say before Moxie turns up.
Moxie doesn't know where she is.
Where am I?
You need to start talking.
What are you talking about?
Things are a lot worse than the Grand, aren't they?
Yes.
What's been happening?
So Moxie, probably you come in at this point, I reckon. So you have to knock. So you knock on the door. Kaz is happy to break conversation.
Yeah, I'm not going to open the door.
Goes out, opens the door. Oh, darling. Come in, are you okay?
Yeah, we're all fine.
Okay. She closes the doors. Alright, so you with Ethan, or...
No.
She sits down. What do you want to know?
What haven't you been telling me?
Look, it's not just the Grand in general. It's the V family, the road, the businesses. Look, I knew that if you turned up when you got back, you would. If you knew how bad it was, you would have rushed in there the moment you got back, and you would have got yourself killed by the very people that you fled the deserts to get away from. I wanted to tell you. I wanted to tell you that Julien had seized the place by force, that he had third-party help from some unknown source, and that the V family fronts who turned over to him were burned out by Royce loyalists. But what good would that have done? It's been done. The businesses are burned out. It is settled. There is nothing for you there other than horrible memories.
So you were just happy to let me carry on with my revenge fantasy for...
There are other ways. There is better ways in getting revenge than running in without thought. And that's what you would have done if you knew how bad it was.
Is this why you kept telling me there was more, that I was better than the Grand and that there was more for me out there, just that I wouldn't go back?
No, that's something that I do, that I believe with my entire being.
Do I believe her?
Roll insight.
5.
Yeah, she seems to be, you think she's telling the truth. There's nothing to say otherwise. There's nothing for you here. You see that? You're better than this place, both of you. She grabs the whiskey, swigs. You have a world to conquer. I wish I could come with you, but I can't leave the kids. And my parents, as much as I hate the guts sometimes, they're not built for this kind of conflict. If I leave, the same thing happens to Zaithwaite. Julien takes it. If I'm here, at least I can watch and manipulate in the shadows. And if the shit really hits the fan, I can disappear. But I'm not leaving the kids.
Does she mean the orphans?
Yeah. Nothing has started taking in little uns. And you can see she's getting emotional.
If there's nothing for me here, what about you?
Oh yes, that is complicated, isn't it?
And what's that supposed to mean? There's nothing for me here, but you're still here.
Do you see the position I'm in? I can't leave. And yet I want to go with you, but I can't leave. At least I can be your eyes. If I'm here. And once I know that they're safe, maybe I can leave and find you. I don't know. I'm sorry, I lied. Sometimes I wonder if I can't help it.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm sorry, She comes over to try and hug you. Puts the whiskey down. She hugs you. You've never seen her this kind of submissive and indecisive and nervous.
It's gonna be fine. We're gonna make it fine.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lied.
No, you shouldn't have. I'm not gonna make you feel better for that.
That's fair enough.
Is there anything else you're not telling me?
She pulls out the 3 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only secret I've got left, I think. I'm carrying them around for a day or so. Don't really want you all to go, but...
No, we knew she had them.
She didn't know she'd collected them.
Oh.
She'd made arrangements. And she puts them in your hand. They're 3 very large coins with a hole in the middle.
I see.
I will give you both some space today, if that's what you like. I've got things I can... I'll do whatever you like. If you want the space for yourself,
No, stay.
okay. She hugs you again. I shouldn't be drinking in the morning.
Well, yeah. Liquid breakfasts are never a good idea.
And
Unless it's brunch.
Okay, Moxie, what are you doing in this time?
So yeah, I mean, I see that this is clearly a very personal moment. So
Just sit there, get some wine, just some popcorn.
Leaves again.
so I
Hey, Ansel, do you think they're gonna make up?
so speaking of Ansel, so I go into my room.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I don't have the bits. Never mind. Yeah, so I want to go shopping at some point, but I need to know. I need to sort of like discuss what things and whether I need to. Basically, I want to know if I need to hide my wand.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I was gonna, when we were gonna do the time skip, I was gonna ask Kaz to find out if we was like open carry or anything like that.
Yeah, so what?
as a scullery maid, it's,
Yeah, so she says to you guys, if this is something you ask her, I will say that, no, I would not say weapons. A wand might be a little different. It's easier for you to hide though. Wrap it in your apron or something. But in terms of your friends who are working, I would say the only one was one of you going as a guard. Obviously that would be fine, but you could potentially persuade your way in with weapons as a guest. That's definitely an option, and I imagine there will be people in there with ornamental weapons, or they are of such station that it would be rude to ask them not to bring their weapons. But yes, no, your friends in the kitchens and my sweet girl, no, I don't think weapons. You could hide them somewhere. I don't know if you feel you need them.
We can hide them. That's not a problem.
Okay, well,
it would be nice, yeah. I don't know. I mean, do you have any? I mean, like, can we like sew any like hidden seams into
your apron?
Into my apron, yeah. Or
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Pass it here.
Kaz can't sew.
Well, I can give it a go, or I can show you. Do you have a sewing kit or anything like that you need?
Me? No, not me personally. But I need to go do some shopping anyway, so I can get one while I'm out.
I'd be happy to help if you need help. But yes, that's a good idea.
Yes, and also we found out Julien's going to be there.
It's not surprising.
And yeah, so I mean we've dyed my hair, and it is going to be masks as well, so that will help. I mean, is there anything else? I mean, I can't disguise myself, but
Oh,
It's
your
going to be a
mask.
magic field round.
I I doubt it. From the small bits of investigation that I've managed to do, they're going quite heavy on theme, and I think that will require some kind of magic. So no, I don't think so. Nobles of this caliber often carry magic items. I think to be walking in with those things becoming inert, it's a risk, but I don't think that there will be.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay. I mean, I can disguise myself magically, but it is taxing after a while. Do we have any? Can you think of anything else that?
Well, we could get to some things together. We could buy some sort of disguise kit, and see if we can do anything that looks natural. We've got a couple of days to practice. Yeah,
no, that sounds good. Yeah.
And you're wearing your mask, are you?
Well, yeah, they gave me a mask. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, you've been spending hours and hours on your own one. I thought that maybe you'd wear that, but.
I mean, yeah.
Do not make me feel more guilty about this than I need to, Kazaria.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, it is tempting, but I don't know. It might look a bit odd with just this maid wearing this fancy
death mask.
fancy skull mask. Might be a bit.
Well, you can always get changed while you're there.
Could do that, yeah.
I don't know why I'm encouraging this. You're going to get yourself killed.
We need to discuss.
I'll chat with the rest of the gang. But, okay.
And unless you want to roleplay, you can easily buy all these things. So I know you've got a list of things, isn't there? Your spells.
Yeah, I want to buy a new spare spell book, and I want to get some incense as well that's
fine.
So I can change answer.
How much is the spell book?
50 gold, I believe.
Because it usually lists it, doesn't it? And how much incense do you need?
I just need 10 gold.
Oh, that's fine.
So,
yeah, that's absolutely fine. There's a herbalist outside in the Mariners Market.
50 for the book and then 10 for the incense.
That's absolutely fine.
God, being a wizard is expensive.
Mark that shit off. Okay. So you've got the 3 tickets, and I will need to ask actually, because that was a good point you raised about names on tickets. Kaz would know that it requires identification. So what names would you have given them in case we didn't discuss that before?
You go first.
I would have kept Sentinel because it's not attached to anything.
Oh boy, I've already been using Freya this whole time.
Yeah, you have, and if we'd have given those names before, if we'd have had to give those names before the last one,
Freya, and then the other one is Pharaoh. We
have had no contact with him.
But that's the ticket, so it's got Pharaoh, the Devil of Kristanar. So as you guys,
I really hope there's a master of ceremony.
So what you were looking at these? I mean, we were talking about them. They are a massive coin. They're like the size of your palm. This big coin.
Whose palm?
Sentinels. And
quite tiny.
Yeah, it's still a big coin. There's a square hole punch in the centre. And the coin themselves have been forged in concentric rings of brass, copper, and gold, and inscribed on the outer ring in gold in a flowing script is your name.
How did you manage to get these inscribed when you were saying that they were for you?
What?
Because you got these for you. You said they were never mind.
I can't remember now. That's my bad. But they're inscribed.
Because Kaz would have been getting them for herself.
She just had sources to get invitations. Yeah, so because she didn't want to go.
Might be easier to
And at the centre, half obscured by the square, is an eye mask with flowing ribbons coming off of it.
How the fuck are we going to find Pharaoh? Are you sure you don't want to come and we can just pretend that you're this guy called Pharaoh?
You've got 2 days to try and convince me, but at this point, absolutely not.
It'll be fun.
She closes your hand around the tickets.
You can go dancing. Champagne.
And then when this insane man from the desert turns up, then what?
We run away.
Okay.
He's not insane.
He's not completely insane. He's quite
Just a
lovely. You'll
character.
like him.
Yeah.
He's a
Quite
bit,
fun.
bit
Alright.
eccentric, yeah.
It's a right laugh.
Right, and back up to the Colin Petal. You've run off to get chef hats. Okay. You're in the middle of your stuff. Eugene and Freya, what are you doing?
I might go to the alchemy guild. Would you like to come?
Oh, sure. I don't have any other plans, I guess.
Whereas like I've been furiously planning this entire time. Please let us go plan. Oh my god! Come back.
It's all right. So yeah, I can do that. So you go to the guild garden. It's still early in the day, so it's not really unbearably hot yet. You turn up and you walk through that archway into this very trimmed garden. The pillbox of the Archivist Guild in front of you, the sort of blocky building of the Lapidaris on the right, and then the Alchemist on your left. So you walk in. It's cool inside. Demera, the large, friendly human woman who smiles a lot, is sat behind there. Morning.
Oh, greetings. Could I use the labs this morning, please?
Yes, it's Eugene, isn't it?
Yes, Eugene Ballantyne, yes.
Of course. Yes, absolutely. And she steps up, gets out some keys, opens up the side lock next to the Arch Alchemist's office. There you are.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, go in.
And your friend's name, just for the records.
Freya.
Writes it down.
I now understand what our problem is.
Now I have seen the problem in action. I understand.
Eugene doesn't know what anyone's talking about.
Fake name crew. F5.
So as you walk in, it is much more of an atmospherically kind of controlled environment. There are very tiny windows and strips at the top of the wall, very thick brick walls. In the middle of this room is a massive, long table with a really thick wooden top. It's about almost a foot thick, and it's been carved on the sides where bits have been scraped off over time. There are all sorts of conical flasks and small vials just pinned to the wall with just scribbles and notes all over them. There is a huge, at the far end, there is a huge, set of shelves with just scrolls spilling out over them. It's a bit of a mess. It's nothing quite as fancy as the It's not fancy. It's messy, and it's functional, very functional. You're on your own. There is no one else in there at this time.
Have you been into a lab before, Freya?
No, what's this for? And I touch the first thing I see.
It's like
It's a flame.
It's like a flask in a stand, and it tips over and almost, and then rocks back a bit. And
It's an aura in a temple.
I'm not too sure, but judging by the bubbles coming off that, I probably wouldn't want to break that. I think that's going to be corrosive potentially.
Yeah, there is in this place as well. There is a smell of, strangely enough, fresh wood chips and a very acrid kind of ozone smell as well that just kind of hits you in the back of the throat.
No fume covered in here.
No.
I need to make a very sort of special potion. Do you remember I told you about the cube that I found?
Yes.
I'm probably not going to get it out here because, I did steal it. But to activate it, I need to make an elixir of the self.
Right.
I was researching that in the library the other day. Was it yesterday?
2 days ago, and it was the Azoth of the self.
It's still the elixir of the the Azoth of the self. And so to activate it, I need to make this. So I have all the ingredients. I need to put in something that's personal to me. Would you like to help?
Sure. It's always goes.
So I go and get the bits I need. So I don't know how. If I want a heat source, there's not going to be a Bunsen, but
there are small, what you would have known as in the alchemy guilds. Sometimes they're called spark lamps. Other places they're called spark torches. But this has one because they're very expensive, and it is basically a shardwork artificed device. There's like a little coiled snake and at the top sits a little like 4 prongs, and you have to effectively press certain sigils on it, and a small amount of flame comes out. It's nothing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's not very powerful. It's enough to heat up a small amount of
So I know when you've seen me make potions before, perhaps with a Moxie, whilst we were intoxicated, we were very much, just add however much in. I think we'll need to be very accurate with this.
Okay.
So
I want it.
very careful. So I place a vial on there and I start mixing things and talking to Freya as I do, and
Sure.
and then I have a bit of a think, and I go to Freya. I've got this sweet that I saved for quite some time. I received it on the first day of joining the guild. It was in my alchemy book, and I later learned that it was made by someone called Corin, who's a good friend of mine. And I pull out this sweet, and it's this really terribly made sort of white sweet with like a red smiley face on it. It looks appalling.
How long have you been carrying?
Yeah, it probably is a little bit.
It's really something.
Yeah, it's not his best work. He has got slightly better at it, but no, it's not his. Bacon is his forte. Not sweet. Bacon.
Sorry.
Bacon. That'd be great. I make really good bacon.
Sorry.
So he's a really good baker. Sweets aren't his forte, but he's got better. But anyway, regardless, this is quite personal to me. I don't know if it will work, but hopefully, it does. I've never made this before. I have no idea what will happen when I make it, but here's nothing, I suppose. And I break up the sweet, maybe in a mortar and pestle, and put the shards in.
So you like swish it up. It gets a bit stuck, like to the.
It's probably quite soft at this stage. Rather than break it.
Flake it off, and there's like a fractured piece of the smile that kind of melts away into the dish. I think as well when you researched it, it said blood as well.
Oh, did it? Oh, I forgot about that.
It did. So it said blood turned into an essence. It said a magical solvent combining your blood and things that comprise your soul, most favourite things, things that define you.
So I sort of shudder when I remember this. I'm like, do you have a dagger on you?
Do I?
Just use your crossbow.
Hold still, Eugene. I fucking Google you tell of this bullshit.
I genuinely only have a mace, so I'm gonna have
Do you not have an iPhone?
I have a dagger, but I don't want to do it. I'm sorry, I can use my face. No, please. Don't.
Bend over.
Let's just look away.
I don't have a dagger, I do have a mace. Right, what needs
do you remember when I said we would need to be accurate? I don't know. Yes, I think we'll just need a drop of. The potion calls for some blood, but I don't think.
Yeah, it's gonna be more than some. Yeah.
Would be maybe a drop. Yeah, so I've got a dagger. It's fine. I suddenly remembered this. Jeez, I don't want to. I don't want to do. Can you?
You want
cut
me
my?
to?
Yes, please. I can't do it. I'll look away.
Okay. Oh my god.
I'm just holding my hand over like.
After Freya's already tried to kill someone.
Roll a sleight of hand check. See how much of this is finger.
This is the best thing we've ever done.
Wait.
Guidance.
Oh my god, I've lost where my skills are. Okay.
Oh yeah, I could have guided you. Oh, you can guide yourself.
Also,
Sure.
I love how you've got
Oh,
Freya,
guys,
the one who's
please
already
let-
put Aura in a coma.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, 15.
Okay. Yeah. So Eugene holds out his little shaking hand.
Tiny little
His
hands.
tiny little hand, and you choose his pinky finger
Like a child.
And you hold the rest of his hand with a firm grip, and you just ding, and you just prick it with the end of the knife.
I'm now crying.
Enough so that there is a big globule on the end of your finger. Nothing's dripped in yet, but there's a big globule of blood on the end of your finger.
It's okay, I've got some diet.
You're not taking damage for that. If you rolled really badly, then maybe.
You collapse and you lose all the blood, and I have to do it again.
Should have just done inflict wounds.
Oh, Jesus. That must have been very hard for you, thank you. Oh,
No, it was
that
easy.
hurt. Yeah, I just put a few drops of blood in this.
Cool, so...
This better work. I don't want to do this again.
So what you had seen as well before this was, this required... Did it require some... do you know how to make an essence in these guides? I can't remember the exact...
It's on the guide, but I have all the reagents.
It's the cost is the main thing, but it's not... We'll figure that afterwards.
Yeah.
You've got enough money and you bought them, so...
Yeah.
What you did see is Eugene take out various vials and then and kind of place on his book, and that was when the sort of sigilism element comes into play, and this strange book with the ink that seems to disappear, he places them, and then he mixed the face went in, the little sweet, and then finally the blood, he squeezes the 2 little drops out, and the mixture, nothing happens for a moment, the blood clouds in it. May give it a little stir, a little swirl.
Do you think we need more blood? I hope not. God, I might not be able to go to the ball now.
And then as you're talking, there is a brief moment of effervescence when foam...
Bring me to life starts playing.
Foam rises in a sort of little gout from it and a steam, and then it settles. And instead of the pink, the hue it gave, the blood gave it, it turns a more golden colour, colourless, and it settles, stable.
A golden colourless colour.
Oh, sorry, clear, but with a sort of golden hue to it, and it settles.
So clear but gold.
Clear, as in it's clear and not cloudy.
I know what you mean. It's really funny though.
It sounds, you know.
We don't have the rags through things.
I've been singing underneath this whole section.
And in the little
we did.
in the little dish, it looks stable.
Wow.
I think it worked.
How do you know?
Well, it stopped. It's changed colour, so the reaction is
Now, do you
complete.
drink it?
Oh no! Don't.
Frey
No.
wants to drink blood.
I have absolutely zero. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like not knowing sometimes, but I really do not. This is, almost beyond my skill. I don't know what will happen if you were to drink that. I'm talking myself into wanting you to drink this, but don't.
So do we dunk the cube in it now?
I'm not sure. I think is there because there's somewhere to put the schematics, but there isn't somewhere to put the vial.
I mean, you're gonna look at it.
There's nobody around.
No, you've got the lab to yourself.
Okay, I think we should be safe. I will get out the cube and put it on the desk.
He takes it out. When he puts it down, it's clearly heavy, very dense cube, about the size of a Rubik's cube. And no, yeah, you're right. There's the hole in the middle that runs through the centre. The corners are that frozen sort of where little tiny cubes have been plucked out of the corners in strange geometric shapes, and they're still. But no, it doesn't seem like there are ever so slight cracks around it that run beyond sight, maybe deeper into the cube, but there's no spout or anything like that.
Maybe you might be right. Maybe I do have to drink this.
I would dunk it first.
But that will ruin the paper.
Can you take the paper out?
Well, no, but if you...
There's no paper in it at the moment.
No, but as in the schematics, I don't want to get...
Oh, right, yeah. So I'll remind you, it just said you must awaken the device with the A's of the south.
I feel like you need to dunk it.
That's what it said to you.
Dunk it. Dunk it.
I'm not here, but dunk it.
Can I...
Like a spray bottle and it's like a naughty cat.
Naughty cat. Down!
Dip diet.
I would say, and this kind of plays into your instincts as an alchemist, you have made more than you think you need.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll try sort of...
Yeah. So you, for example, if you were to spill some on it or drink some, you know you would have enough to do the other.
Fair enough. So I'll try Freya's idea first.
Okay. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna spill, or you tell me what you're gonna do?
Yeah, I guess just pour some on the cube.
Sure. Okay. So you set the cube on the wood. You take this dish, slightly warm liquid, a little bit like piss.
Thanks,
It's gold, right?
Visual.
And you tilt this dish and splash over the cube, and nothing happens. The liquid runs into those cracks, the cube-shaped cracks or the square-shaped cracks, and then it seems to dry really quickly, almost like the cube is a hot plate. And you both stand watching it. It's not really doing anything. And then after a moment, the corners begin moving ever so slightly, where those cubes that have been plucked out seemingly, it's almost the surface squares are shifting out towards the corners. Those corners splitting into smaller cubes, and then smaller and smaller and smaller, almost until the corners become these microscopic inverse cubes, and the surface is becoming this very, very slow, subtle flow of squares that become cubes that disappear on the corners. It's almost unnoticeable unless you're watching. And it does this almost imperceptibly.
Not to Freya.
It's doing it, you can see it. You can both see it doing this.
Eugene is changing.
So fascinating, isn't it? I've never seen anything quite like that. So yeah, I guess I'll get out the crossbow schematics.
Sure.
And put it in the little hole in the middle.
Okay, so you roll up the schematic and you place it in. Okay. The cube does the same shifting constantly, and then you hear in your mind, "Hello, Master Valentine."
Hello? Who said that? Hello? Freya, do you hear that?
I didn't say anything. Do I hear it?
No, you do not.
Oh, there's a voice in my head. I hope I'm not becoming... I have lost a lot of blood. I hope that's not because of that.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna wrap up his injury.
Okay, yeah, so she starts bandaging up, and you hear, "This is a multi-layered design. On the top is a blueprint for a rather primitive physical engineered device, and beneath it is a hidden, unwritten disquisition of old origin. Would you like us to extrapolate and construct the truth, Mr. Valentine?"
Yes, please.
Right, okay.
I say yes, please out loud.
Say yes, please, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad.
So yeah, you're just bandaging his finger up, and he just says yes, please.
Side note, that was like a really wonderful description, but as soon as you said that it kind of looked like piss, I was just imagining piss.
Yeah.
So when you say yes, please, and Freya, you're like bandaging him up, like he seems delirious.
It's the blood, I told you.
And the lexicon on the side begins humming, and you can both hear this. Thanks. This strange, solid, in a strange, solid but liquid metal fashion. The splitting of the cubes quicken. And as that happens, you both see that light begins flickering almost inside the blueprint that's rolled up and been placed through the center of this cube. And then the cube begins shrinking, smaller and smaller. It disintegrates into smoke almost, but the particulates of the smoke are heavier, almost bigger than you would expect, and it leaves behind a single metal band that holds the scroll in place on the side. Light flickers from that parchment, lighting the underside of these heavy particulates that float above it and unfurling in the air. And as it begins to light up the base of these particulates in the air, Eugene, you hear, "The top level, Master Valentine, is this crossbow-like device," and you can see the blueprint made 3 dimensions in this smoke that's lit from the bottom. You know it well. You've pored over this for many months. There are spaces in the design for modifications, but they're missing from this blueprint still, which is unsurprising to you. And it floats there.
So Freya can see this?
Yes, you can.
Eugene, what?
I don't know. This is...
Fascinating.
Yes, I believe my papa was working on this. I'm not entirely sure. And then just looking at it, so obviously he said that was the top layer, so I just call out, and what about the other layer?
Oh, would you like to peer into the underlying disquisition, the unwritten part, Mr. Valentine?
Yes, please.
All right, yes, of course. And from the crossbow, you seem to zoom out. This strange sensation of the light, the mixture of the light reflecting on the particles and then their strange movement creates this sensation that the crossbow is shrinking, and it turns into a buzz in the air, and you see a planet, and then that shrinks smaller and smaller. A sun of bright grey whizzes past, and further you see the rendition that you recognise as the entanglement that you saw within the Aramani. And there are 3 planets at the centre, and around the outs of this sit central and one either side of it, and then around them are 16 others. Some of them are shadowed out, and some of them have names on them. The central one in the middle is Discordia. Either side, one of them is called the Syrinx, the other is called the Tarnished. And then there are the 16 outer worlds that some of them, I said, are greyed out. And from the top and clockwise, you have a Harmony, and then a blank, and then a Wildfire Cairn, and then a blank. Tirlos, blank. Evisovas, blank. The Court of Desolence, blank. Hanakesh, blank, blank. The Atlas Halls, the Alabaster Conclave, blank.
Do I know these names? How many of them would I know?
Roll a history check.
Could I do that too?
Sure.
19.
I got a 5.
With a 19, you recognise some of the names from various places, but never really in this format like a world. It would always have been in, for example, the Syrinx is something that a few people have heard of. The tiptoe to the Syrinx is a fairy whisper that people tell their children. Other names, with a 19, you probably would have heard of a couple, maybe Hanakesh, but without necessarily any, you recognise the name, but that's about it.
Hello, Cube. Are you there?
Hello, Master Valentine.
Can you explain what we're looking at here?
I'm afraid we are disconnected from much of our origins. The information we retain is little at best. We are as close as the Enrivers became to replicating certain things, but unfortunately, we are out of time.
Oh no. Who? One more question, if I.
Oh, I apologise. I'm saying we are out of our own time.
Oh. Oh wow. And who? I think I know who, but who created this? This hidden schematic under a visible schematic.
Ah, the writer of the Unwritten Disquisition.
Yes.
I'm afraid that there is no evidence, and we could let us go into the 3rd layer.
There's a 3rd layer?
It zooms out again. Or it zooms in, this time it zooms through the 3 central worlds. One of them is green and white, and the one on the right is smoking and dark. And the central is a scarred blue and green world that you recognise as Discordia. It zooms down into Discordia over the continent known as Hazali that you are all currently on, and it displays dots that pulse. And one of them is the south, above the desert, which you would estimate is where you currently are. And the next is north of that, a few hundred miles. There are no evidence here of signatures. It is possible these are the next locations of the caches in this disposition. What a convenient find, Master Valentine.
Oh, so the other cubes. This could be where the other cubes are.
Highly unlikely, but potentially evidence related to the cubes or further schematics, yes.
Oh, that makes more sense. So the schematics for the... I see. Yeah, I'm just sort of in awe of this, so he's just sort of staring and trying to take it all in.
Gene, is this a map?
It looks that way, yes. And you said, so how many sort of dots are there on this map that we can see?
So there's one where you would both recognise probably as Dustmere. There's one north of you, which, I mean, what would that roll be?
Geography check.
Yeah, exactly.
Colouring check.
Probably a nature check. No, survival, maybe.
Ooh.
Survival checks for maps.
Can I do that too?
Sure. Yeah, you can both see this.
I'm gonna go with myself.
Yeah, I should have done that. It wouldn't have made much of a difference, so 6 for me.
25.
Yeah, so Eugene, you're not sure. There's a few. So there's the one closest, and then there's a few that are much further up. There's how many in total? There are 5 in total. And Freya, you look at them and you immediately recognise, yes, that one there is where we are. And the next one, a few hundred miles, is likely to be Del Nori, or it could be Talbenary, which is the main stopgap for the coaches. But it's more likely, it looks like it more likely to be Del Nori. It's further towards the coast. And the others are much closer to the capital. But that distance is quite vast, it's hard to say.
This is Del Nori. This one is Del Nori.
I've never been here
It
before.
looks like there's at least one in the capital, but the capital spans such a large space.
Yeah. So, wait, what are these dots? What do they mean? What's that?
And you said that one's like essentially in Dustmere. And would Eugene think that that's the one he just has currently? Or...
It makes sense that it's the one that you discovered, yeah.
Cool. So this blueprint I have here, there looks to be more of those in, I suppose, those locations that you pointed out.
Treasure hunt.
Yes, I suppose it is like treasure really, because it's unfound. But yes, I suppose at some point I might have to find this. I have very little idea what my papa did before I was around. I don't know how he's involved in this, if he is. If he's not, I don't know, but he gave me this that I'm sure of, so yeah. I don't know how, yeah, as I say, I need to figure out sort of what this is relative to him. Actually, can I ask the cube if the cube knows that name?
Sure. What do you ask him?
Look up the name, because I can't remember. Do you know Edwin Ballantyne?
Other than this person shares your surname, Master Ballantyne, I'm afraid not.
Oh.
I do have news, though.
Okay.
Yes, your request was some kind of signature. And it flicks through the layers once more, out from Discordia to the entanglement and then up to the top layer. And it says, yes, it says that something was written in the language of the Discordian, which you wouldn't have recognised. Would you like us to show you?
Yes, please.
And it follows your will a bit like you in that moment realise it's responding to your will. So in almost an interactive fashion, it zooms in past the crossbow to the bottom of the bottom corner of the blueprint, and something that was not written there before that you 100% would have noticed. And it's written in a script that you know well. It is your father's, and it says, "Go well, my curious boy. Go well."
No.
So cute.
And that's it. You're just reading this flowing script.
And Cube, sorry, what do I refer to you as? The Lexicon?
That would be apt.
Hello, Lexicon. Can I view this again in my own time, or is this like a one and done sort of situation?
You can view this whenever you wish.
How do I sort of activate the Lexicon to do that? Do I need to use the elixir again?
Incorrect. The Lexicon is awakened, and simply place your disquisition within, and we'll do the rest.
And does that always have to be written on paper or parchment?
Most disquisitions would be, but in other instances, we will be able to figure something out.
Again, you just hear me having a conversation with myself.
I just like stay.
Okay, so yes, how do I sort of deactivate you for now? Not but like, to put it away.
Yeah, when you think of that, the cloud buzzes and whirls, and the light flickers out from within the scroll, and it kind of floods back, and you see the cube knit itself back together, and it remains there with the scroll still moving very gently as it had when you awakened it.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was, I didn't expect that.
Were there roughly the same number of dots as there were blank spaces on the entanglement map thing?
What the caches on the map of Discordia?
Yeah.
So I can tell you how many blank spaces there were. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blanks. So you guys have got half.
And there's more than 8 dots. Or is it
There
8?
were 5 dots on the map. Yeah.
That's a lot to take in.
Yeah. What? Who are you having a conversation with?
The Lexicon, the cube itself.
It was talking to you.
Yes. I'm not mad, I promise I've been tested.
How
but
does it work?
I suppose it activated with the elixir.
Is it? Yeah, but how is it powered? Is it powered by a coil shard?
Do I use in my sort of sigilism that I know, is there any sigilism actually on the cube itself, or is it just blank?
There's nothing on it.
Potentially there's something in there, but I think this is older sort of alchemy. I think this sort of maybe predates the shards, I don't know. That's a mystery. There could well be something in there, but I don't really want to break it open to find out. Hang on, hold that thought. Lexicon.
Hello, Master Valentine.
Lexicon, how are you powered? Is there a coil shard in there somewhere?
A coil shard. This is a term that we are not familiar with.
I look at you, I take that as a no. No coil shard.
Interesting.
Okay, thank you, bye.
Goodbye.
This is my new favourite voice.
My friend is a cube.
I mean, it's not
It's like the companion cube for Portal, but the voice.
I guess it must
Mr.
be magical in
Lux.
some way.
That's
Yes.
fine.
Well, alchemy was, I guess it's kind of magic, isn't it?
Oh yes.
You would know that in sigilism, artificing, the act of inscribing something with the sigils, and then the magic around harnessing the power from a coil shard or coil stone, it would always still have to remain its shape like a mechanical device. So the fact that you just saw this thing turn into smoke, unless someone had inscribed individual particles with sigils and then they could somehow operate remotely from one another, it doesn't make sense. In the logic of artificing, it doesn't make sense.
I relay that back to you.
Must be more like the Godstone then.
Did you tell us about getting into it?
Yeah, you were there.
Oh yeah, no, I know we heard, but I don't know if you
I think
relayed
you
that
saw
back.
it like open and stuff.
Oh yeah, okay, cool, never mind.
You saw it shatter, but you didn't. I don't think you told them what you saw, did you?
Who are the voices though that you're talking to? Is it like
Well, just
gods?
the one voice, but hold that thought. Lexicon.
Hello, Master Valentine.
I know you're going to say that you are indeed the Lexicon, but did you have a past before being this cube? Are you the voice of your people?
I am the voice that the disquisition that was written to create me gave me.
So kind of like a program.
What's a program?
Actually, that's the point. I wouldn't, yeah.
So, a disquisition, in other terms that may be more relative to your language, an essay of sorts, written in a language that was designed to create me.
Cool. I relate that back to you.
Right. I think we need to
Get to
think about this.
Yeah. Need to get back to the others. So yeah, we
Cool, though.
close it all up and tidy up the lab.
Put away the cube.
Thanks for sharing with me, Eugene, though. That was very cool.
Can you keep the stuff about my papa quiet for now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm zipped.
Yeah, between us, I don't know where he is, so
I don't know where my sister is.
I don't know where my sister is or my brother.
We have a lot of missing family
Yeah.
as a group.
We don't know where our dad is. We don't know where our uncle is.
Family time.
We do know where our brother is.
Or doesn't know where his family is.
Yeah.
Amaya, I don't
I'm sure
know
she has
what
problems.
family she has. Amaya also has problems.
You just don't know where Amaya is.
She's wandering around.
Who's
with
Amaya?
the chef
Did I tell
outside.
anyone where I was going? Did I just leave?
Yeah, he's left.
Cool.
I assumed you'd be okay. You're a big, strong girl.
Yeah.
Oh no, but she's gonna get hit on by that creepy racist guy.
Okay.
I guess we go back to the pub.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything else? I know that you wanted to get something from.
Oh yeah, so we don't have to
But you want to get a coal shard.
from
Yeah,
the
that's fine.
Lapidaris Guild.
And how much?
100.
100 golds. So.
Big spender Valentine over here.
Yup.
Let me just check.
Can you just buy those?
So you have to go into the Lapidaris.
Yep.
And I'll give you guys a quick kind of rundown. So it's a smaller version of the Alchemy Guild inside. Solid yellow blocks of stone, a bit more sort of opulent, and the desk of stone, there's filigreed silver and everything. There's a huge vault door off to your right with this wooden wheel, like a ship's helm on the front. It smells faintly of burning, possibly of a resin. You would think possibly of a resin or a binding material used as part of the stone cutting. All the trapping and storing. You do the transaction with a small dwarf woman in robes that are black and purple, more like kind of wizard raiments than robes that you would see as very, very posh, very wealthy guild. And when you are given this coal shard, you ask for 100 gold's worth.
That is what you did.
You are given in a little box. You are given something that is the size of it's a napped crescent of stone that is no larger than the white of your pinky.
Jesus.
nail.
About half of that.
Yeah.
Jesus wept.
And that is it. You are given the coal shard.
I thought it would be bigger than this.
That's what she said.
And the woman says, yeah, they always think that. Always disappointed.
Well, I suppose, you can find the most powerful things in the smallest, I suppose.
Except for coil shards. The bigger, the more powerful, of course.
Oh, never mind. I was trying to relate, as size. But never mind, Dorian.
You were calling me small.
We should leave.
High five. Vanishes.
Okay, so
For another campaign.
you guys leave. Where do you go? You head back?
We go back
Yeah,
to
head
the
back.
comments or
Okay,
grab
so
a drink at the bar, sit down.
drink at the bar. So when you guys get back, and I imagine, or are you heading back as well?
Yeah.
So when you guys get back, are you guys staying down for a bit? Or cool.
I
So
will at least.
Oh, maybe if we're planning, we should just go straight down.
Yeah.
sure. So you guys convene in the Colin Petal quickly. It's already looking a lot better after the few hours that you've been away. Tables have been righted. The glass has been boarded up, and you make your way downstairs.
Oh, I was going to say that I've been frantically revising. So I've had my cookbook out.
Nice.
And I have been reading it back, like front to back, to make sure that I'm ready and prepared for tomorrow.
Yeah, so as you all come back to the Colin Petal and you see that it's been making some progress, and Maya's in the corner by the fire.
Do you have your hat on?
No, is that when I see
She's got
Eugene. Oh, Eugene, I've got you something. Well, I've got you some
present.
things.
Oh well, thank you.
I bought you a chef's hat.
Oh wow, I've always wanted one of these.
There you go. And I also bought you a backup because we know how things can go down sometimes.
I mean, I'm not planning to set fire, but thank you. Yes, that's very important.
Just in case.
Being
I
prepared
thought,
is the best policy.
Yeah, and they pop up like a little tent. And I get mine out and I go like that, and it like, pops up.
So I do that. I'm like, ow, my finger. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Oh yes, I've just a stab in right here. It's fine.
He told me to do it!
Wait. What?
Just a little science experiment.
Oh, okay, sorry then.
I thought I was going to lose it.
What, your mind or your finger?
Both, really. Finger mostly though.
But you didn't.
No, it's fine. It was just a prick.
So with that, you guys head back downstairs.
I don't know how to respond.
Not encouraging that. So down into the hideout. And what have you guys been doing? You probably had a bit of time spare.
So yeah, so
You went to buy your so you bought your bits and bobs.
And
Sentinel, you had a bit of time in hand.
I probably wouldn't have done like much of anything. I was probably sat like writing at the desk.
Sure. Nice. So yeah, you guys come in. Moxie, you probably arrived maybe slightly before, as you only went to the market, and everyone is together in the hideout.
We have Aura. Is Aura with us?
Yeah.
Aura comes bubbling in, really excited.
Oh.
I've got the best idea.
Is it a plan for tomorrow?
You guys have one more
a
day.
secret base. Because I'm done with getting stabbed.
This is pretty secret.
But Kaz doesn't like us being here because we're messy.
It's true.
And
I
we
don't.
can and then we can have places for Eugene to do his alchemy.
I have the guild.
But secret places, if we want to work on stuff that we're worried about people looking at. And
We got a
is that a
kitchen.
coil shard?
I didn't realise you could see it.
That saves one job. I was going to try and steal a coil stone.
No, this is mine.
Oh no! Saying that, I think we should do that.
Let's do that.
Kaz is
I was
just like,
talking to
For
Sariki
once,
about the
Kaz, I
sword.
believe I'm with you on this one.
I was talking to Sariki about the sword, and she thinks it was made like that. But her forge can't get hot enough. And then I thought of when we were in the desert and we incinerated those husks.
Yeah.
And that was an arcane sigil powered by a core stone. And well, I was going to ask you, Moxie, and Eugene if we can make like a smaller version of that, so that we could like use it to heat metals.
I look at Moxie. I'm like, Aura. Firstly, great idea. However, I think the temperature you would need to... I've never done it, but the temperature you would need to burn a body probably isn't as high as the temperature you would need to heat metal so you could work it, especially if your friend's furnace can't do that.
But if we get a bigger core stone,
You would need a very big coil stone, would you?
I pass a cigarette to Kaz.
yeah, she takes a big drag.
I roll myself on and then pour her a whiskey and myself. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Sentinel, one more.
I pass him my cigarette.
I don't know where my old pipe is, but this will have to do.
Oh, okay.
Dude, if you want one, just hit me up. We share in this family.
Good old tobacco.
Exactly.
I cough.
Thank you.
I have some, but I just cough.
Tobacco and Kaz.
Maybe this is a problem for after the ball, though.
No, we
Thinking
we can
is a
solve it
problem.
at the
Fuck
ball
you.
by stealing the core stones.
And also, if we have a base, I mean, obviously we can use the base when we come here again, but are we staying? I thought we were going after the ball.
Well,
Wouldn't it be good to have someone to
Yeah.
come back to?
I'd also considered this.
We could put in a hot tub or something.
In the
There is
desert.
I mean, it depends on how it goes with our brother, because there is a rather large compound in the ground that would probably fit all of us in it. But if my brother's not around,
So,
someone needs to inherit
is
that.
the plan to steal a load of coil stones, murder your brother,
Wait,
then take his
We
house?
need to go back to the beginning.
My house.
Sorry, your house.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of Julien, can he do magic, or is he good with a sword? Like,
It's great.
I assume if things go badly, we're gonna end up stabbing some people.
I'm still better at him with a sword, but he can use one. I don't know if he can do magic. It wouldn't surprise me. Prick.
I mean, other than like sort of general tiefling
Other than
stuff.
general tiefling bullshit.
When you say prick, I just look at my finger and then look back at you.
What did you do to your hand?
Oh, Freya stabbed me.
Stop telling me.
First,
No, but Eugene asked her to, so it's fine.
Okay, that's true.
So you guys are aware.
I'm really confused.
It is now like afternoon on, and I will. All right, you guys have more time than you think.
We've got like
another
3
extra
days.
You have no, not that much. It's the afternoon on the 4th of
And
Vard,
the thing's on the 6th.
and the ball is on the 6th.
I suppose we can skip
Because
to
we
the
were
morning,
gonna
or
skip
the
unless
day.
anyone has
But
something
you
to
have
do.
you have to get to your jobs like afternoon. I think they said after midday.
We have to go and get our dresses, our outfits sorted.
Yeah.
So you have one full day, and then the day of the ball.
Okay. Well, we can start discussing now and then time skip if we cover it.
Yeah.
So we've
we
got
need-
the sending stone.
We need to talk aims.
Don't die.
What are we going to the ball for?
To cook.
Cook. We say that in unison.
Yes. But
I guess wash dishes.
we're not just going to a party, guys. We
So-
need to
Well, no, we're not. We're going to work.
Bad about this enough already.
We need to work out Debile's plan and we need to stop it if possible. Is
We
that
need to
agreed?
find out. Yeah. We maybe find out who this third party is if they're
concrete
there.
evidence is what we need.
We could kill Julien.
Roll an intelligence check. Those of you,
I'm killing someone.
actually, who was you were all there, right? Everyone roll intelligence checks. So this is about just reminding you something from the Wakefield attack. You
I'm too
may
busy
already
thinking
be
about
aware.
food.
Ooh, wow.
Where's my intelligence?
So just add the multiplier
Minus one.
-1.
Okay, what did everyone get?
17.
Okay.
9.
16.
16.
9.
4.
Okay.
Nice.
Those of you who rolled
Talking about
above a
food.
15,
Yeah.
you would remember. So something that's very. This is a matter of hours ago, when you were talking to the guys from Wakefield. They said that the third party that they believe is intervening in the events in Dustmere is some kind of cult.
Yeah.
That's what they said. So I'm just saying that just to try and clarify.
Are we going there
So we
for
need to
a
work
ritual?
out who's in that cult.
Well, I'm just saying,
Notice.
I'm not saying that's the answer to everything, but I'm just reminding you that because there was a couple of things that probably my fault over the long periods saying this is a third party, that's a third party. The third party that the Wakefields are talking about is a cult.
So the cult is presumably the people we found on the boat with the necklaces.
And presumably the people involved in the robbery.
Right, yeah, those are the same people.
I know.
The
I
boat
think you
people
are
and the
right. I
robberies.
think
Are we
we're
here-
walking into a. We are here
Are
for a
we here for a
ritual.
You missed the ritual, it's on the boat.
But no, I. If they were stealing those artifacts, right, we would have. The assumption would be that it was for something big, and if we haven't seen anything big, we'd have seen it.
Is the
They.
cult...
I was just gonna say it wouldn't have been on the boat because the robbery wouldn't have had chance to get out to the boat unless they were using something like teleportation. The only thing that they could be prepping for, in theory, well, not the only thing, they could be prepping for a million things, but the biggest chance they've got is a room full of nobles who are all, and seniority that are all around for Debile's return.
Is the cult connected to Debile's? Or is it separate from the Debile's wanting to be a god thing?
Well, we're still unclear as to who would have done that because, on the one hand, we know that worship of anyone other than the Shining Servants is strictly prohibited. So there is the assumption that Debile's wouldn't be doing this for his own gain because he'd get fucked, right? Because he'd get fucked by the Apotheos. But on the same vein, there's power, and if he was doing it for himself, it stands to reason that he'd unlock a huge amount of power. There's both sides to it. We also have the writing from the hag that is to hate the Thin Man Debiles, to hate him, to love him, to make the love for him sing. So that's like...
The hag was positioned by the cult.
Yeah.
But if a tiny coilstone shard can power something like that, Inferno in the desert, and he's hoarding not coilstone shards, but coilstones themselves, how powerful is this thing going to be?
Well, a question. We know that they were taking we know that they were shipping coilstones. Do we know they were bringing them into the city, or were they just hoarding them somewhere?
No, you would have told that Gaspar was hoarding them, right?
Yeah.
You would assume that they would be with him. So, and in fact, I would probably go and say that the detail that you were given when you were talking through Kaz's contact was that he was collecting them in the city, maybe. But you do know for sure, there's a kind of blurred line there, but you do know for sure that he was shipping them.
Yeah.
So there's ship logs of them. Whether or not they're all here or in other places, you're not sure.
Didn't you sense one in the map?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
Was that at least? Was it just one?
But
it only picks up, as far as I understand it, it only picks up the nearest one.
yes. The other thing is where this party is at DeBile's estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were at Gaspar's estate.
No, he was going to DeBile's.
When you,
Oh,
yeah,
so DeBile's.
you did it when you were getting the jobs, when you were
was
waiting for the
making
Oh,
jobs.
sorry. I was going back because I was like, I remembered.
Yeah, we've been to both.
Right. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, when we went to get the jobs. Right. So okay. So.
Is
So
there going
what
to
do we
be
want
like...
to do? Do we want to disrupt the cult, or do we want to like take down the vials, or do we want to?
The other thing
Do
that
we
is
chop off the
concerning to me is that this is we live in a state where magic's they're not the biggest fan of magic, and this is going to be a magic free for all, right? Like they're not. Me. And you tell us off for being naughty. Sorry. Like. There's doesn't appear from what we've heard and the theme of the event that there's going to be much of a restriction on magic, which scares me somewhat, because if you're kind of theming an event around magic in a state where magic is like, we have to have licenses for this shit, and they're just going to have a party that throws. I mean, I suppose nobles is a different thing. The other thing that is making me really uncomfortable is the fact that all of the Syndicate have said that they categorically do not want to go, and who is going but our dear brother. And we know that they're involved, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
If we bin off DeBile's, right? Is that the right person?
I mean, I think we should have lower aims than taking out a noble for the moment.
If we get the chance, we chop off the head. But
I don't think we're going
we
to
just
We could try and just
disrupt. At least until we can get...
find evidence to give to Ilran.
Yeah, we need to catch up with
I
him.
think he's gone.
He was sitting outside the city. We've not been here all that long. He might still be around, but at this point we've got no idea. He could have buggered. He doesn't believe us.
But if we found evidence,
But
undisputable evidence.
That's
Well,
what he
what I
basically what he said. Yeah, is that he needs evidence.
yeah, but that's what I mean, is he doesn't believe us at this point already.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have stayed around for what he doesn't believe in. I don't think he'd have hung around much longer. He thinks we're chasing fairy whispers.
Well, then we need to prove to him otherwise, and then maybe we can have other people on our side.
We need... do we need to start thinking about allies? I mean... I asked Embrin to come, but he hasn't arrived yet. But Denisis has been taken to the capital. Those are the two best allies I've got. I don't know what... I could talk to the Edge Watchers. They have information on things, but it's focused around the Edge, and if they leave that unguarded, the Edge is the arsehole of the world. There's all sorts of shit that comes out of there.
I feel like we need
Pass it to
to
Steve.
keep the circle of trust small
But that's your
for this
view.
one.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
A small strike squad. In
Do we
the
need
manner,
codenames?
disrupting code names. Yeah. The other thing we could do is, you know, DeBiles had all his followers, and we were like, that's how they were making a god, right? Could try and ruin his reputation a bit.
Oh yeah, I'm up for that.
Show that he's human.
Well, if we can pull that off in this, yeah. That would be a brilliant disruption.
We could plant stuff that makes
Drugs?
Biles and Gaspar.
We can make some
destroy each other.
posters.
But this is the thing.
You could give everyone food poisoning.
I was just going to say that.
This is the thing we're still not clear on. Does because Biles has only just come back to the city. Does he even know this is happening? Is this Gaspar setting him up? Because Gaspar's throwing this party, right? Not Biles.
Yeah, so DeBiles is the host. The knowledge is that Gaspar is throwing it at DeBiles' estate as a welcome back party.
What if this is all just bullshit? Because does he even know that people have been worshipping him? Yes, babe.
It's been in papers, isn't it?
Yes, it's public knowledge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his household were denying it.
Do we know if gods get food poisoning? Because if people think that this guy's a god and we give him food poisoning, then it shows he's not.
Kaz, can you pour me another whiskey, please?
That's a good point. You got shit.
She holds a glass that she was filling up. But there's like a measure of whiskey in there already, and she just goes.
No, answer my question.
Does Kaz have any lines into like journalism?
You can ask her yourself. She's right there.
Kaz, can you plant propaganda?
I could give something to the Papery Guild, but the closest guild is in. I think they have an outpost in Telbenry. We don't have a guild here. Closest thing other than that would be. I mean, we've ran propaganda campaigns before, but it's usually to do with a sort of word of mouth smearing, which takes time.
We could make some posters, like say how he's not very nice, something like that.
Bad man.
What if?
Man.
Well,
And his photo.
Bad
we
man.
could swear, but I'm not very good at swearing. I wouldn't want to do it myself. But if someone else wanted to,
How's bad man
I mean,
swearing?
I know I've had bad ideas, but
What if we
they're not
What if we put themselves against each other? Julian's usurped power of your family. What if we lead whispers that he's gonna usurp DeBiles?
I think the easiest option that would give us a lot of allies very, very quickly is to take out Julien in some way, shape or form. Whether that's him getting arrested, whether that's him being ousted.
And at least it takes 1/3 of.
It takes 1/3 of the equation out, and then
Wait, you want to do this at the ball?
not necessarily.
We could plant the
We
seed.
could try, but that gives us access to the whole syndicate as a suite of allies.
And also, the seeds there that he's trying to usurp DeBiles, we deal with him, we can get close to DeBiles and find out what he's going on. And
The one
Maybe
thing
try
that
and get in.
concerns me is if Gaspar recognises us as we are trying to worm our way into DeBiles. I don't think it's necessarily the best idea for us as us to try and cozy up to DeBiles, because Gaspar knows who we are. Gaspar sat in a room with us.
Duncan was paid off by a noble to hunt us down.
I'm
Or
guessing
at
that's
lea- or at
Gaspar
least-
because he
or at lea-
knows, doesn't he?
Or at least, at least the Wakefields, who were ordered by Julien, had information on what Duncan knows. So yeah, there is a connection there.
So
Which is also very dangerous, because if Duncan is starting to cozy up to V,
Which is like the opposite of what you know about him. He hates them.
yeah, it's not what we do. Think of it as the aristocratic crime families, and then the scraps on the outside. They should not be socialising.
Gaspar probably knows we weren't truthful about what happened there.
Almost
And
certainly.
maybe he said he paid for our silence.
He did say that he paid for the
nothing.
silence on the Graven. That's what he said.
Nothing gives silence like death.
Well, then why would he give us money to then go and kill us?
Gets the money
So-
back.
So
Does he
we would suspect
If we
that
don't.
we could just walk away.
Also, why would he leave it this long though?
It's not actually been that long.
No, but still, I wouldn't wait days to like kill someone off to get my money back.
I
Personally.
think it's more that we were a problem for getting in this mess with the hag. That's
Maybe
why.
he did think we would just go away.
That was
maybe-
why the Wakefields were hired.
That's why they were
Oh,
hired.
I forgot we did that.
So they said, we're here to kill we're here to kill the people that were responsible for killing an asset in the sewers, as reported by Duncan Men. And then the Wakefields had done their own research, and they knew that the same group was once in the employ of Gaspar.
Yeah. And they also know that Julien paid them with noble money. The dirtiest money of all.
We've got a lot to
So is
work
the
out.
plan to gather intel?
I think primarily gather intel.
If
But
we
if
get,
there's
What
an
we're up against.
opportunity,
See which groups are working together.
and
if-
find out who
yeah.
this third party is. Yeah.
Explicitly.
The third party and any evidence that we can find. If we get a shot at Julien or Gaspar,
I don't think we should try and take out a Duke.
I don't think we should
No.
take out a Duke.
so we just take a shot at Julien if we get it.
but like not publicly, like it has to be like in the corridor on the way to the loos or something, so you can quickly drag him out and put him down a toilet or something.
You played the Hitman games, right?
Yeah.
You don't do it in the ball. Wait till they go to the loo.
Because this is the other thing
And-
that I've been thinking about is that Gaspar got his seat because of a death in the family.
If we can spread some rumours while we're
Well,
there.
no, isn't that pretty common knowledge that he ascended because of a death in the family?
Gaspar,
I
his
am
father,
right.
yeah, you're right, you're bang on. Like, I'm
was
amazed that
reading
you
my
remember that.
Because I was reading my notes today
Yeah,
to
so-
write our conspiracy board.
Gaspar's father drank himself to death after his wife was killed for both treason and heresy. It was heresy and the other one, can't remember what it was. But she was basically worshipping an unknown deity. She was a member of the opulent chorus, and she was executed. And then that's when Gaspar, after his father drank himself to death, he became Duke. A place
Drinking
called...
himself to death is such a bullshit way to die.
You're speaking to an unknown deity.
Also, how can you prove that unless somebody's snitched on you? That sounds like a smear campaign
Is
of
he-
the highest order. He was gunning for that. That's
Is
that's a power-hungry man.
Is he then trying to reach out to this deity?
Does
And
that
not
deity
the-
exist? Or is it bullshit? Did he just say that his mum was worshipping an unknown deity so that she would get executed?
I have a question.
Last thing I'll say on this, because I realised I've got a little more detail. So
How do we know that?
it's common knowledge that Gaspar's mother was executed for illegal worship after she killed a thief and sacrificed him to Dieu, who is the giver of immortality, the god of the opulent chorus. And yeah, you don't know anything else. That was what the release was. And he's the Duke of a place called Erevan, which is a small, very wealthy town in the south of Isildia.
I have a question. Do we know if this is and this does have a purpose, I'm not just being annoying. Do we know if the food is going to be like a buffet as in serving stations, or if it's a sit-down affair? There is a reason for this question.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not just
understand
being
why
a
you're-
pain.
Okay,
Or
no.
is it canapes on...
Yeah, I say, let me roll for what Kaz will know and see what she's found in her research. I'm going to roll a percentile to be completely
Or
transparent.
would we know anything from when we went to get our jobs and our chef's
No,
rights?
because all they said was that you need to report to chef. They called him Lila.
Yeah.
They called the person Lila the chef. You don't know anything about the dishes, but
Yeah.
let's see what Kaz knows.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yes. She rolled really well. So she knows that we don't have to roleplay it. It will be a mix of on the floor service by a large tray.
They're going to put the food on the floor.
And the hosts and the guests of honours will have sit-down meals. But the rest of the guests will be eating kind of canapé versions of every course
Like past hors d'oeuvres.
as they that's it. But as they mingle and dance, they have so it's something that's quite common. It's so that they don't the guests of honours and everyone gets a nice posh sit down meal, and the rest, everyone else.
So basically what I'm trying to ascertain is there aren't any like serving stations where Eugene or I could possibly be like handing out desserts or carving meat.
That would happen.
Like that.
You would know that would happen in that kind of event. It would happen at plating in the kitchen.
So there's not like table steak service, you know, where they cut.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to ascertain.
You don't think so? Kaz didn't have that much information. She knows the nature of the food, of the fact that it's going to be partially sit down, partially.
Yeah. So basically, Eugene and I will probably mostly be out back. We won't be out the front, but we could potentially try and pick up intel from
The serving staff.
the serving staff.
And which meals are going where.
I don't think we should try and avoid. They'll definitely have tasters, right?
Yes, almost
Then-
certainly.
Oh yeah, don't want to.
That brings us to the other thing, is how do we communicate well?
Sorry, I nearly fell on my ass.
I thought it's not recording.
No, I nearly fell on my ass.
We need to be able to communicate. We've got the sending stones. Some of us can message.
Sending sweets, you mean?
It's how do we work out who's where, sort of.
Well, we're working, so we're going to be where we're told to be.
We're in the kitchens.
You're in the kitchens. Freya and Sentinel are guests. I'm there as a guard. I could be outside. I could be inside.
You need to not be outside. Unless it's to let someone in. Does anyone want to go into the ball without a ticket?
I could have caught someone climbing over the fence.
Causing distractions, sure. I don't think you'll be much use outside.
Unless it's to let someone in.
Yeah, but she could get in via the scullery maid and then just change clothes
Yeah.
and change disguise. I don't think you should stay in the kitchen, basically. Like, you're not very useful.
Cleaning the plates.
Yeah.
So
either...
Ahmaya and Eugene definitely need one of the sending suites, because they've got, without Moxie there, they've got no way to contact anyone.
Yeah, that would be your route.
And then I guess one of you two on the floor, and you've got eyes on every.
Can you? No.
I can cast message, but
You've got eyes on everything that's going on out in the open.
I'll go high up as far as I can. Read lips.
Perceive everything.
Dude, they will catch you. You are like.
Okay.
I'm not doing any magic.
Oh, true.
Do we need to get weapons in? Obviously, I can walk in.
Well, this is a series of questions about what we want hidden. So, and I can hide everything. I just need to go the day before. I need to go and drop everything off in my pocket dimension, in my holiday home. Because then it will take me 12 seconds to go back and grab everything and then bring it back out. So if there's weapons that we want, they can go in my holiday home.
In my bedroom. It's in my room.
It's in my room. Don't go, Dad. Don't go in my room.
There's loads of longswords in there.
Daddy, don't go in my room.
It's such a mess. There's weapons everywhere.
I can.
I stepped on a leg.
If I just take
Stepped on a dagger.
If I just take my longsword, I could maybe get away with it taking a backup sword. I don't know, and sneak or another weapon and take someone else's in there.
Kaz said about ornamental weapons. We could probably get your sword in.
No, we wouldn't, because she's a guest. She's not a guest.
Yeah, as in one of us could take it for her.
Well, that could work. But then again, would you wear it? This is the other optics of it: is would you wear an ornamental sword? Because I could probably get away with my rapier as an ornamental sword. But could you wear an ornamental sword with a dress?
You'd also have to do a bit of. You'd also have to do a bit of persuading.
Yeah, it's not going to be as easy.
To be fair, Freya's dress is like quite cool and stuff.
But if you can,
But
stick it in the pocket.
the thing that my sword is in is quite ornate on the outside.
Did he
and looks
work?
pretty.
You mean give your sword to...
Freya?
Well, look,
But you can't fight with it.
I don't know how to use a sword.
Hold it by the other end.
okay, so guys, your plan is, and correct me if I'm wrong, and fill in the gaps if there are any.
I feel there are many.
We're about to get red for Phil.
Yeah.
You are going to, we'll do a bit of a time skip, and then on the day of the ball, yes, there's a few things with collecting, but in terms of the ball, you're going to pop everything, potentially most things in the pocket dimension the day before. And the aim is you're going to arrive in your respective roles and tickets, and you're going to gather intel. And then your second priority is you're going to try and you might take a shot of Julien if you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Is there anything else?
Is that not
Do we
enough
all
of a
agree
plan or
that-
too
No,
long?
I'm just summarising it. I'm just summarising it.
start some sort of a ritual or something?
Oh,
Do we jump in?
Yeah, the top line goal is prevent anything that isn't kosher from happening.
And
That's your main job in the kitchen.
if this
But,
goes,
You might. Sorry.
if this goes
Carry on,
starts
we got
going
this.
badly,
We need to get out.
we get out. And
As you say that, Sentinel doesn't make eye contact with anyone.
Finally, something that I can agree with.
if we get split up, where do we go? I don't know if we want to
We'll go.
come back here and draw attention.
We'll go to Thingy's house. What's his name? Big guard guy.
Oh, Captain Drummond.
Yep. We'll go to
Skills.
his.
Yeah.
Captain Daddy.
The skills.
We'll go to
his
Captain
skills.
Daddy's house.
Okay,
That's
and
where we
meet
regroup
there
if we get
and
separated.
we decide what happens from there. And we had that thing to call Urientian, didn't we?
Yeah, we got the.
Well, not
Chatelaine.
necessarily.
Not
during
necessarily them, but
Yeah, I have the
if
chateau.
if things start going badly, maybe
Oh, fuck, I forgot about
we
that.
call a sail and at least get ourselves out of the city.
Is it? Well, we're not by the sea, are we? Are we? Yeah, we are.
You're an hour's carriage away from the sea.
Does the Chatelet work for the sea as well?
They just said if you need their assistance to break it,
Okay.
and then someone will find them. Someone will find you.
I was gonna say, if the goal is to get intel, maybe the best person to be sneaky is Moxie. It's gonna be easiest for a scullery maid to sneak out of the kitchen.
Because no one will. No offense, Moxie, but you'll look really quite.
Have we got
That's
anything? Have we got
why I
anything
quite
magic?
liked having a scullery maid around.
Have we got anything?
No, but that's why I liked the idea of someone being a scullery maid, whoever that was, because nobody notices a scullery maid.
No one pays
Have we
attention
got-
to the
And you
maid.
can-
Have we got anything magical that?
Kaz grabs you and just goes, "My darling," just pulls you into the vest and just hugs you.
Have
I
we
know.
got
Why are you
ways
hugging
to magically hide you?
I can make myself invisible.
That'll
That's
do.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, guys,
Kaz, please. Kaz, please.
I'm not letting it go.
Kaz,
If
please.
only I had.
Moxie, can
How
you
long
breathe?
does it last? How long does the invisibility last?
I think it's an hour. Let me check.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
It's a shame I can't
Yeah.
cast it because I would be able to increase the duration of it. But an hour's
An
a
hour
good
is a
start.
good.
But also,
Yeah,
because we're
time.
not going to be all together, we can't have like a set plan on when things are going to be used. We've just got to use them when we can.
Yeah.
And try and be as
So I guess
in contact with each other as much as possible and
As
as
soo-
close as possible.
as soon as you feel like you can sneak away, turn on the invisible,
Yeah.
go to the fancy places in the manor, try and find some evidence.
Here's
Oh,
the,
good lord.
here's
You're gonna have some fun.
Here's the map as well. I couldn't reach the middle with the compass.
You're at the edges, it's all good.
It's a start. It's
How long
only
does
ground
it take
vulnerable.
to do the? How long does it take to do the map?
An hour.
Fuck. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, can we just do it when we get in? But that's stupid.
You have a
You
miles
could,
radius, right?
You don't. Yeah, you have a miles radius, but I couldn't reach the middle.
But
Of
when
the
you're
estate.
Oh no, it's
when
not. It's
you're-
1,000 feet. It's
Yeah.
not a mile.
But when you're in there,
Yeah, but it's more that's gonna take an hour to do the map.
Does it?
Is it an hour? Or is
I thought it was
10
10 minutes.
It's not an hour to do it.
Is
No,
it,
we
maybe it
definitely
is 10
didn't
minutes.
spend
then.
an hour doing it. In the
Just can we not just do it?
What you can
I
do
don't have
is
to do it as well.
what you can do it is
No, it is 10 minutes.
you have tomorrow as a whole day. Okay, so if you want to do it, we can still time skip, but we can get you to roll a stealth check. Or is it something you're going to want to do? I think you had enough for 3. We figured it out.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that emptying it can break it, right?
Yeah.
So on this charge with
If
empty
we're
it,
further than 20 miles from North there.
yeah, which you are.
It's not the
and it'll
worst
only,
thing in the
it'll only
world.
be the ground. Maybe, I mean, we're probably just missing most of the hall on the ground floor. It would be more useful on a second floor, maybe, where stuff could be hidden. I don't know, but I don't need to take it.
We're worried
So
about
anyone
it
else can do
breaking.
it.
If we're worried about it breaking, though, it's an incredibly useful tool to have. We can just
Okay.
wing it.
Right. You guys, are you ready to skip forward to the morning of the ball, where we can start collecting the last few things?
I would want to do the night before.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna change Ansel as well. I get on my little brazier, bamf Ansel away, and then start the fire, and then I fold out my spell book, and it's got all these drawings of different animals on it. And then as the fire's going, a smoky spider sort of climbs out of the book and into the brazier. And then I'm just sort of staring into the fire for like an hour, and then Ansel then climbs out of the ashes, and he's now this like black spider with like a skull on his back.
Nice.
If anyone saw me freaking out earlier, it's because he was looking at pictures of creepy spiders.
How big is it? Like a tarantula or smaller?
That's just a nondescript spider.
Sure. So smaller.
When Eugene sees us, he actually just goes to a corner of the room and just stays as far away as possible.
Oh,
as
buddy.
as possible.
I come and join Eugene.
We're
Okay.
taking a long run.
We shouldn't have told him that though.
You guys,
Oh no,
there are a few things that we'll
Nice.
do before, but other than that, we will hopefully be at the ball in the next session, and today that's where we're going to end.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.